Verner Bass tells us more about Monty's Messengers and EcoPlay.
Well, we're back again in the EcoPlay area, this time with Verner Bass, who's the communications officer for the project and the outreach officer for the trust. And you've been doing a lot with Monty's Messengers, and perhaps you could tell us something about that, what they'll be doing here as well.
Yes, so the Monty's Messengers, for those who may not be aware, it actually stands for Montserrat Oriole Messenger. And Monty's Messengers was something that was established pre-volcano. It was set up by a lady called Yvonne Robinson. And the whole idea was, back then as it is now, is to really immerse young people as much into biodiversity as they are into our history and our culture. So the Adopt a Home for Wildlife project was really good, so we decided to bring back the Monty's Messengers because we felt that in order to actually educate the entire public, we have to educate the children as well.
And I was very impressed also, not just the primary school age messengers, but also your cadets, the secondary school age, who were helping. Well, they didn't have the benefit of these messengers, but they really were entering the spirit, weren't they?
Yeah, so one thing that was really inspiring was that Delmord was saying to me the other day when you guys went to look out there, you had some messengers putting their hands up and saying how much they've learned. So for me, that is absolutely fantastic. One of the things that we were striving to do is that is to expose them as well, because we're quite limited to the resources here on the island. So it's very key for me to expose them to different elements of the actual industry. One of the things that we also did earlier in the year, as you mentioned, Monty's is very much about the primary school students, but for the secondary school students, we had a higher education evening as well. So for me, it's very important for us to be building the trust, not from the adult volunteers, but all the way from the ground up, so that in the future we'll have some scientists to be here to welcome persons like yourself, or maybe your replacement at some point. We had collaborated with the Montserrat Tourism Division to do a cleanup campaign. So we went to Buncombe Bay, which is not too far from here, and that was just to expose them to recycling and the importance of taking care of the environment and the planet. And it just so happened that on that day, Mr. Jefferson, who works much with our turtle conservation here on the island, he happened to have some turtle hatchlings. So that was extremely exciting. But what was also exciting was that one of the Monties actually has an interest in becoming a vet. And she asked such a good question that I'd never heard before, asked about turtles. So that was really impressive, and it really touched my heart, because the whole goal is to create another vet and to create another scientist. So it was good to see that within Monty's that we were actually nurturing our future veterinarians here on the island.
The enthusiasm was amazing when they were here on this block doing their
BioBlitz.
Yeah, these kids really not really thought about insects much before, most of them. Some of them had, but they were just getting into it in such a big way. The excitement of catching and examining these. Yeah. And the same was true when we were at the school. We didn't ask about Monty's Messengers. One of the school pupils who was a Monty's Messenger thought we should know about it, which is great. just what we need.
So Monty's at the moment, my problem is size, because every single time I step outside, another parent's like, can my child join the Monty's? Can my child join? I think at first when we promoted it to the schools, because they probably didn't get what we were trying to do, but seeing the different activities on social media has really encouraged more parents to actually want to sign their kids up. So we have a good problem in the sense that they're keen to join it, but our issue is capacity, having enough volunteers on hand to be able to actually reach out to every child. And one of the things that we also encourage here as well is children of all abilities. So we have a disabled child in Monty's as well, who actually has ADHD, and I found that he enjoys Monty's so much and he flourishes because we haven't alienated him in any way. We allow him to get fully hands-on with everything, and there was one session that we had that just made me so proud. We were playing a simple game of red light, green light, but he came out of his skin because I don't think he's ever had the opportunity to lead a group before, and because he was the leader of the game, I was just so surprised. So Monty's is having way more of an impact
Yes.
than we originally anticipated. So I'm so happy to be a part of it.
So I guess what you need are more parents and uncles and aunties prepared
Yes.
to give an afternoon to whatever to help out.
So we have a few parents who actively volunteer each week. So in the new year, I'm planning to do a volunteer drive. But one of the things I'm keen to also do is to give them child safeguarding training.
Of course.
So that's why we haven't officially signed on any volunteers as yet, because for me it's important to make sure that we train the volunteers specifically on how to interact and work with children, but also to make sure that we're not putting the children in the care of someone who's unsuitable to look after children. So that's something that we're definitely doing in the new year before we do a full recruitment drive. Yeah.
Excellent. That's very good indeed.
I think about EcoPlay. What's the vision, I think, for EcoPlay?
So this will be the home of the Monties, essentially. This will be the Monties clubhouse. And the idea is for them to have a space, a recreational facility, which Miss Francis has probably already gone through, to bring some of the elements of Monties that we've already been discussing in terms of planting and growing their own food, and really understanding biodiversity, the importance of taking care of both the plant wildlife and the insect wildlife that we have here on the island, and just being able to have a space where, because what I'd like Monties to be is that every year it kind of rolls over, so the children who are going to secondary school drop off, and then we can recruit another grade and stuff like that. So I'm really working towards that in the new year. It's been crazy because we inherited the museum and stuff like that, so it's really slowed things down a bit. But the idea is to have it every year. There's like a registration process at the end of summer. You sign on to Monties. I want to put in a little bit more structure in terms of, because we have an issue with size, create a waiting list, but also put onus on the parents to make sure if your child doesn't attend 3 sessions, they've lost their space and things like that, because it is a good opportunity for the kids, but I want them to take it seriously. What I'm having at the moment is they'll come this week and the next set might not come next week. And then it's very difficult to know numbers, especially for things like funding. We're providing snacks and stuff like that. So trying to streamline it a little bit, to be honest.
It's good, and we're very pleased from the Overseas Heritage Conservation Forum to be able to find a pro bono architect to design this.
Oh yeah, so you worked with us here with Dennis Sharp, right?
Yes.
So
and also I gather from Sarita that the funding is going well. Well, I think it's getting towards halfway. And obviously people in Montserrat can make donations to the Montserrat National Trust. People outside Montserrat can donate via our website ukotcf.org.uk, and that money goes on to Montserrat National Trust for this site.
absolutely, and you're not just investing in the Monties, you're also investing in a facility that's also going to be available for adults. It's also a facility that's going to potentially attract tourists as well, because when you're a tourist and you come on the island, you want to know that there's recreational facilities for you to enjoy. So I think over time, if you're someone out there listening, if you're in the diaspora or anywhere else, you don't necessarily always have to donate cash. Once we have the building established and built, we're going to need to furnish that building as well. The children are going to need ongoing support and ongoing supplies as well. So it's not just the actual construction of the building that we're trying to raise funds for, but we're trying to also raise donations in kind. So if you're someone who's able to come and lend a hand with the building process, if you're someone like Dennis Sharp who has architects and you're able to provide us some kind of service as well for the EcoPlay project, we welcome that too. So you can send an email to info@montserratnationaltrust.ms, or you can check out our website www.montserratnationaltrust.ms, and you would also see a link there to everything about the EcoPlay Park and how you can be a part of it.
Well, it's a really exciting pioneering project actually, which I'm sure others will follow with interest and probably try and copy.
Absolutely, and the fantastic thing about the EcoPlay Park as well is that it's been designed to be self-sustainable. The National Trust is about 90% solar powered at the moment, so we're making sure that that is incorporated into the design of this building, so that it'll be it's using the solar energy to power the building, but everything about it will also be self-sustainable as well. And also it gives us another facility, you know, as part of the trust, people will be able to come there and have events, and also will bring more of a community spirit to this area. Lots of energy is focused in the north of the island, so it'll be good to have a space that unites the south of the island as well.
Great. Well, we look forward to following this closely. Yeah, and coming back, in my old age and seeing how well it's gone on.
Well,
Yeah,
I'm
and
looking
we have to
forward to
say-
sitting on the EcoPlay terrace with a cool drink and watching the
Absolutely,
children play.
right? Me too. And it's obviously it can't go without saying that we're actually very appreciative of all the work that we do with the UK Overseas Territories Conservation Forum. They also fund Monties as well, for those who are listening. So we're very grateful for that contribution, because a lot of the work that we're doing at the Trust, we couldn't push forward without your organisation. So
But
thank you very much.
Such an excellent job of it. Thank you.
Thank you.
Right.
Great. Well done. Thank you.
Thanks.